It's the Flying Pig here. It's Friday. Come on, Friday the 25th of July, 2025. It's 1:08 p.m. We're here for the cheeky little lunchtime live. What is going on, you legend? Thank you very much for joining aboard the Bacon Express today. We are here to discuss the latest and greatest Manchester United news. Is there any dealings worth discussing? We'll get into it in the next hour. Let's see if anything comes out as well in terms of breaking news. It's been a little while since we've been live when there's been some significant breaking news. Just got a little feeling in my loins there might be something, but we'll see. We'll see in the next hour. Do us a favour, do what Daz says here and smash that like button on it at the start of the show. Give us a big thumbs up. That will help the stream out. Also, you can repost us on X there using the link pinned at the top of the live chat. Please do give us a share around and get yourself involved in the chat as well, and we'll be dipping in and out. Have your say, get your thoughts in. As always, you know the drill. And, of course, Q&A at the end. Thank you, Aaron, for putting the link to the repost in there, legend. Big ups to everybody in the chat. United History, Daz Salford, Aaron, Paul Warby, Abdul Kareem, Superstar, Joshua Isimwe, Tartan Scout, Disco Dave. What's going on, you legend? Yes, lad. Are they really? You what? You what? Paul Warby, Ash Jones, Prima Italia. Prod, what's going on? Disco Dave, Joshua, Solitude. Beat Sky, yes lad, Phil Berry, Hypergraphia, Russell, Superstar, Pete Morris, everybody who's in here, thank you very much for joining. Yes, hit the likes, hit the subscribe. And if you're on catch up later, get yourself down below in the not live comments and have your say and keep the debate going there. Right, let's get into it, guys. We are still having a bit of a stinker now, aren't we? So we're supposed to be signing a new goalkeeper, and there's a couple of candidates available. Obviously, Martinez, Lamans, maybe others. Manchester City have signed James Trafford back there. That's annoying, isn't it? So we need a goalkeeper. They've signed a goalkeeper. You know, this is the thing. Manchester United, as much as it is good that we signed Koeman and Mbeumo, we're still being massively left behind in this window. Make no mistake, guys. This is a shite window so far for Manchester United. It is. It has the potential to be good if we were able to bring in a good midfielder, a good goalkeeper, a good striker. But at the moment, we are having a shitter, guys. It's not been a good transfer window so far. Koeman and Mbeumo's decent, but loads of other clubs doing lots of business in swift fashion. And Man United, again, taking all summer long to pull the proverbial plonker. It's starting to annoy me, I'll be honest. It is. I want to see us sign a third player now. And I don't count Diego Leon. I want to see us sign a proper player now. A goalkeeper, striker. Let's get this deal done, you know. Lots of other teams doing business and we are basically being left behind. Mate, thank you very much there, Solitude Guard. I appreciate you, lad. Legend, you're looking well, mate. Thank you so much. Mick T, good to see you also. John B, Johnny B, John Boy, how you getting on? Tartan Scout, thank you so much, Tartan Scout, for upgrading your membership there to a sausage soldier. Thank you so much there, Tartan Scout, lad. What's this? He's a Scouse Scotsman. I'm joking, mate, but thank you so much, mate, for becoming a member of the channel. You're a legend, lad. Get in there, Tartan Scout, lad. Welcome aboard to the Sausage Soldiers. Thank you. I do, Existence. I do, but, you know, there's no guarantees here, are there? They're good players, Russell, but I feel like we should have been doing a lot more now, you know, because a lot of other clubs are doing big business. Hey, Gungshi, what's going on? He says, hi, pig and bacon ears. Hope you're good today, Gungshi. Welcoming you, legend. Yes, something's got to happen. Surely 4 of them need to leave as well. Right. Okay, so anyway, bit of a shoddy window so far. Man United haven't really got the necessary players in or the necessary players out just yet. There's still plenty of time left, but we're going to have to stop pulling our plonker because there's serious business needs doing. And like I said, City signing James Trafford back. It's just like, well, we need a goalkeeper, but we haven't got one yet. But there is obviously good reports coming out that we are looking at various different goalkeepers. For instance, this is another report here from Sean Connolly that says that United have been tracking Senny Lamans for almost a season, with sources indicating his keenness for a transfer. Club officials view him as the ideal goalkeeper to fulfill their requirements. You know, and if you look at his shot-stopping record, it's very, very impressive. He looks a good prospect, only 23. Yeah, let's get this guy in. Let's get this guy in. £17 million. I hope that we see in the next couple of days or hours, ideally, a cheeky little bid going in there because by all accounts, he wants to play for us. We've also apparently made contact with Aston Villa there for Dibu Martinez, a.k.a. Emiliano Martinez. but it's apparently been just outright rejected. This is via Fabrizio Romano this morning at 10 a.m. He says that Aston Villa have rejected an approach from Man United for Dibu Martinez on a loan deal. Man United still deciding internally with an experienced goalkeeper, young keeper as options. Lamans from more. So we are absolutely skint, are we? It seems we're absolutely skint. Can't even maybe buy Martinez for 30 mil? No? Trying to loan Martinez instead of paying 17 million for Lamans? The fuck are we doing, guys? Seriously. What are we actually doing here? He's 32. Why don't we just go and sign him for 30 mil? They want the money right now. Of course, they are not going to go for any sort of loan deal. Why would they go for a loan deal right now? They're skint. They need money. Yes, they'll save some wages. They might get a small fee up front. But that's BS. They obviously want to sell. It's obvious Aston Villa are in the shit financially. So they want to sell. I just don't understand these sorts of reports coming out, to be fair, saying that we've had a loan deal bid rejected. I mean, what the hell is that? What the actual hell is that, guys? What's this? Zayn Miassi getting in here. Garnish medical tomorrow. I don't think your signings are enough for top table, Don Piggy. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that, Zayn Payne and Miassi. I appreciate you. Garnish, I can only assume that's Gyökeres. I can only assume. I mean, it seems closer to like Garnacho, maybe even Grealish, but we'll just decipher, because he's an Arsenal scummer and a troll, that he's talking about Victor Gyökeres. That's all I can really assume. But anyway, fair enough. You don't think your signings are enough. Our signings are absolutely not enough at the moment. That part of it I do actually agree with you on. We don't have enough yet. It's been poor so far. And Mbeumo and Cunha, yeah, great. Where's the striker? Where's the goalkeeper? Where's the midfielder? Where's the other reinforcements to come in and help us to try and actually improve our position as much as we possibly can from 15th place? That should be priority, is just trying to get the best players in we can. Thank you for that, though, Zane. Would Lamans live number one or be an upgrade? I think he would maybe be coming in to be somewhat both at the moment, with the idea that he's going to be long-term number one. I hope he would be ready to take over from the likes of Onana. And to be fair, if you're not going to take over from Onana right now, there's no point in getting him. It'd be better to get Martinez, because he actually will be taking over from Onana. You know, you need someone who's going to come in and be our number one. What's going on there, Berber lad? Yes, lad. Leave out the add-ons and bonus for Liverpool signings. Yeah, that's it. I know they tried to... That's it. It's 100 million for Wirtz instead of actually 117 million. You're not wrong. Lamans ain't all that. Could be worse than Onana in the future. Come on, United history. How is that even feasibly possible? Have you not seen Andre Onana play for Manchester United? Come on, lad. He has a hand made of melted down fruit pastels. Okay? That's what they're made of, mate. Reconstituted fruit pastels. Do you understand what I'm saying here? It's very difficult for him to be worse than Andre Onana, in my opinion. But, I mean, I've been looking at some of the stats, and, you know, obviously clips only show so much. Of course, you can make any goalie look great in clips, but certainly it looks very, very good. Reflex saves, all the business that you would like, shot-stopping-wise. Very good. And actually, there's some interesting stats going around, like last season, his, I think the opposition expected goals was something like 14 per game and to every one that he conceded or something, which... Let's face it, I don't really know what that really means, but basically it means he's stopping a lot of expected goals, which in itself is a good indicator that he's a very good shot stopper. Now, obviously, he hasn't got the Premier League experience. He's only young. Who cares if he's playing for, you know, in the Belgian Pro League for Royal Antwerp? That's a problem, isn't it? It's just not the same level, but... you know, he does look good. It's not much of a gamble, if you ask me, at 17 million quid anyway, if that's what he's going for United to actually bring this guy in. It's really not a gamble at all. Plus, it means that you'll probably be able to, like, sell one of your other goalkeepers. Ideally, Andre Onana would be lovely, but, you know, even the likes of Bayender, I don't know if Bayinder's got a long-term future at the club. He's not really played that much, and, you know, we've seen a little bit of a mixed bag of performances from him. But Bayender has potential, but at the same time... You know, it's like, let's be honest, is he really going to play that much? Is he going to get opportunities, especially if we're signing another goalkeeper? Like, obviously, the pecking order is well established at United in terms of the goalies, if we're already signing another goalie that's apparently going to go above the likes of Bayender and Heaton. So somebody's got to go. Somebody in that goalkeeper spot has got to go. I vote Andre Onana. Oh, Sully Griffin. Sickening stuff, lad. He says, we're getting Isak, right, Liverpool's going to get in here. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it does look like that probably will happen. By the way, if you're just getting in here, do us a favour and smash the likes on this stream. Help us get to 100 likes. We've got 150 legends watching and 50 likes. You what? That's a Gashmus Boylan ratio right there. Let's get up to Romelu Lukaku stats. Right, anyway, so let's get on with it, guys. Let's get on with it. So obviously Martinez, goalkeeper position, it's a very important position for us to strengthen. Lamens is also on the list. We've heard, you know, there's lots of reports going around that Lamens is one of these goalkeepers that we're looking at, and we've got a keenness for a transfer, and he could be a new goalkeeper acquisition by Manchester United soon because he's quite cheap. But then there's also, like I say, that report that this deal is also on the table, which is Man United still trying to maybe have a look at getting Martinez, but on a loan deal basis. I mean, this is what Fab said this morning. I mean, this almost sounds like ridiculous. I had to double check this, make sure this wasn't one of those, you know, like those dupe sort of like alt, like looking spam, gashtastic looking imposter accounts. You know what I mean? Like Fabritzing Romano or something, you know, just slightly different, you know, just to trick you. You know what I mean? But because why the hell are we trying to sign Martinez on loan right now? I mean, that's desperation. That's skintness. Villa is skint as well. I mean, it's not even smart for Man United to do that. We know Villa is skint. They won't cash up front. If anything, it'd be better to offer a low ball offer for a permanent transfer than a loan deal. So I don't really understand what we're doing there. I mean, I do think whoever's in charge of our transfers at this stage is just having a laugh. They're having a laugh. I feel like they're having a bit of a laugh, guys, because what the hell's that all about? Bloody put a sensible offer in and let's try and sign him, eh? That's the idea there. So Martinez still top of the list. I'll ask the live chat here, guys. If you can only sign one, there can be only one. Lamens or Martinez? Let's just say Martinez costs 30 million and let's say Lamens costs 17 million. Lamens 23, bags of potential, huge future, potential. Martinez, more proven, past World Cup Golden Glove winning glove shagger. Do you know what I mean? And also just a bit of a shithouse, you know, more experienced. He's been there, he's done that. He's got a stain down the t-shirt. You know, he's been there, he's done everything really. Experience is what he has, and Premier League proven experience. But there is a certain level of eccentricity that comes into the equation with Martinez, because let's face it, he is a little bit error-prone himself, you know. I mean, Andre Onana is an error-prone mess. But Martinez, you know, he does make a few errors, but I don't think he's as bad as Onana. I feel like he's much better than Onana. But maybe it's worth just taking the punt on a cheeky little Lamens, because maybe he has the potential to be the next David De Gea for us. He could flop. He could be Andre Onana 2.0. He could be a flopper, a flapper, a flipper. Who knows? But also, at the same time, he could also end up being very, very good. And it's almost worth, I suppose, taking the punt on him because he's so cheap. If he's going to come in and play number one, he has to be the number one, not to play second fiddle to Andre Onana, though. That would be preposterous. Am I the only one who thinks our business is done? It could be done, but I don't think it'd be necessarily done out of choice. By the way, we've got a super chat from Russell Bland. Sorry I missed out there, Russell. He says, they are all hotly tipped footy players. Maybe the players you already have will turn up this year. Amran needs to adapt his system this year. I mean, it's a fair point. He's learnt the Premier League. You know, he tried to apply his system last season. It didn't work at all. There's horses for courses. You've got to play different styles, different formations, maybe in different games against different oppositions with different tactics. That's true. But we sort of do have to have like a go-to way of playing. I still maintain the belief that Amorim was basically trying to make them run the puke tactic. And nobody's going to know what that means unless you've seen the movie Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell and Woody Harrelson. Anybody seen that? Smash a one if you have. Okay, bit of a random reference, but in that film, they're trying to learn this new tactic for their basketball team, right? And they have to run this tactic over and over and over again until they puke. Okay? That's the tactic. And so it gets ingrained in what they're doing. They know exactly where they're supposed to be, what they're doing, they've learned it so much to the point that they've puked. Right, that is the basis for the tactic. I feel like Amorim's trying to get these guys running the old puke tactic. That's right. He's trying to instill it into these players, get rid of the ones that can't do it, you know, and go through that sort of fire there, really, to try and learn this puke tactic. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I can really say, is that we're trying to reshape the side, reshape the formation, the system. The higher-ups at United knew exactly what they were getting by approaching Amorim and getting Amorim in. Obviously, they would have had those conversations about systems and tactics and all that sort of stuff. So they knew exactly what they were getting, and it's a bit of a disgrace that, you know, we maybe have looked so bad since Amorim's come in terms of style, and he's not adapted or been willing to change the formation or anything. But that's all the more reason why I think it's a puke tactic, and he's trying to sort of instill it into the team ready for next season. Think about the last 6 months or so. It's just a long pre-season for us. A gash time to take over Manchester United. You can't judge him on that. He's trying to change stuff. Now, surely you would say, I know it didn't look like it in the Leeds United game, but surely you would say, this squad now, even if it's the same players largely, should have a better understanding of what Amorim wants to do in terms of that system compared to when he first took over. You know, you would like to think so. You would like to think so. Oh, Zamiasi getting in here raw with a super chat, lad. Here he is again. He says, why did you let Newcastle sign Isak when you could have signed him? And yet you buy Hood, and since it is not, clouded United future is. Zamiasi is a very simple reason for it, really. We can't really sign Isak right now. Let's be real. What the hell? You know, we just can't really sign Isak right now. This isn't, you know, 2013 or 2012, that sort of era where, you know, we signed Robin van Persie off of Melts, the best striker in the world, for 20 mil and made you eat a shit sandwich for the next years. This isn't then. You know, this is a different time, unfortunately. Man United are in a bad time, bad place. But if we were in that position, yes, Isak would be the sort of player that we'd be going for. But I think most Manchester United fans realise that it's unrealistic to expect Isak to drop out from a team that has European football, that just won a trophy, that's potentially on the verge of a very good season for a change, to go to Manchester United maybe just for the money. I guess we could pay him more than Newcastle, that's fair. But we wouldn't be able to stump up the money for 120 million Isak right now, especially when we're trying to sign Martinez on a bloody loan deal. You know what I mean? We obviously don't have the cash for Isak. He probably doesn't have the desire to play for Manchester United. And also on top of that, you're an Arsenal prat. Love you, Zane. Thank you for your super chat there, lad. Sully Griffin. Let's go. $5 super chat from Sully. I read a report that Marc-Andre ter Stegen is on the outs as Barcelona. Apparently Flick doesn't like him. Why not put in a word? Well, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, I don't know what it would be in terms of the costings. You know, there's a good few goals. Ter Stegen's obviously a great option. You know, if you're going to spend big money, then obviously that Costa as well over at Porto makes a lot of sense. Oh, Portuguese friend. You know, makes a little bit of sense. And that's not a bad shout, though, Sully. I'd be curious as to know how much it would take to get that guy signed up. Thank you so much, Sully, for the super chat there. And Daz Salford has gifted out 5 members on the channel. So, thank you so much indeed there, Daz. That's immense from you there, lad. Thank you for making 5 members on the channel. Let's get a #5 in there. Harry Maguire's number. Let's go. Daz Salford has made David, Sai, William, Jay, and Tariq all members of the channel. You are made men, thanks to Daz Salford 69. Thank you, Daz. What's up there, Carlos? How you getting on, my son? The fact the club are making silly offers for goalkeepers instead of going on for strikers shows we aren't serious in this window. Definitely not serious. So at the start of this window, I believe Omar Barada, he said something along the lines of, we have a very clear transfer strategy this summer, which we will implement. Maybe ruthlessly. Did he say that? I can't remember. Something, I'm ad-libbing here, but he said something along the lines of, we have a serious transfer strategy this summer, which we will be implementing. Basically, yeah. Well, what is the transfer strategy? Take all summer long pulling your plonkers, fingering various different pies across Europe without eating any of them, and then just end up with a couple of late bloody signings coming in, all the cast-offs and rejects of other teams that they've not gone for. Because all the other big clubs, they've all gone for these big players. What is the bloody tactic? Feeding off scraps of other teams, flying around like vultures at the end of the transfer window, trying to pick up a few bargains, a few Dominic Calvert-Lewin type melts. What is the frigging transfer strategy then? All right, we got Cunha straight away, fair enough. Maybe their strategy was to get Cunha and Mbeumo straight away. Maybe their strategy was to sell Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford straight away. Well, they couldn't fucking implement that strategy. And they didn't do that. So they've left us in a position where we now have players we can't sell, and we're trying to loan goalkeepers when we need to buy players right now because we're fucking skint. You know, it's kind of pathetic. We are pathetic in this window. Yes, we've signed Mbeumo and Cunha. Those are great signings. Does that really solve all the glaring issues in the team, though? It does. It's not even the most apparent issues in the team. The goalie, the striker, these are the most apparent issues in the team. The midfield, we had a load of number 10s to begin with. So, bizarre strategy, if you ask me, from United this summer. What a set of melts. Oh, ter Stegen's out for 4 months. Oh, shit the bed. Just go for Jared Bowen, if only. If only he would come. I think that would be a great addition, lad. Yeah, no nonsense, hard-working player. That's what you need right now. A bit of a character, a bit of a bollock, man. Somebody with a bit of bollocks. Okay, we haven't improved at all since Ollie was fired there, Jens. We've gone backwards. It's definitely the case. Right, anyway, folks, well, hopefully we can get this goalkeeper scenario done and dusted very, very soon. We need to sign a new shot stopper, obviously. Lammen, 17 million's an option. Martinez, 30 million's an option. Sorry, guys, I went off on a massive tangent there. I did ask you guys who we would prefer in the chat, and I totally went off of it because I was, I don't know, probably ranting about that. Lamens, Martinez clear, Martinez all day, Martinez on loan. Well, if you can get Martinez on loan, I guess get him on loan because there's no risk then, is there? But that sounds stupid at the moment with Aston Villa trying to save money and generate money. You could maybe sign him for a cheap deal, 30 million quid for Martinez at 32 years of age. Isn't really that bad. He's a World Cup winner, for Pete's sake. You're not going to get it for chump change. I think we're just absolutely skint. That's the reality. Lamens is Minion A 2.0. Lamens, you prefer a loan actually while we find our best option. Martinez long term, I'm sure, is a mistake. His shithousery masks constant mistakes. That's an interesting shout, Katu, but I feel like obviously it's no risk if we get him on loan. I'm not against that. But the reality is, why would Aston Villa go for that deal? It's not going to make any sense for them to go for that deal unless you're going to give them Garnacho on loan in the opposite direction. Maybe, I guess it makes a little bit of sense then. So I guess that could be coming next because there has been some sort of speculation and talks about maybe Garnacho being used as a make weight for Ollie Watkins deal, or I guess, so something like that could happen, I suppose. But personally, I think getting Martinez on a long-term deal, a 3-year contract or something, wouldn't be bad for us because it gives us a bit of stability and somebody who's experienced right now. Then again, he is a little bit eccentric. I wouldn't say no to Lamens. You'd prefer to bet on Lamens. A fair play to you. Right, let me catch up back with the chat here, you legends. Right, let's continue with... Oh, Isaac wants Rashford money. He does. He wants a good few £100,000 a week. But to be fair to him, Russell, right? He's just coming into his prime years, 25. Is he not worth that? If you look at the goals he scored last season for Newcastle, you're getting 20-plus goals in the league. You're a serious baller. He probably is worth that, to be fair. If we're being honest, it's just that Newcastle obviously seemingly have a stricter wage structure than we do. Otherwise, they'd just be bended to it. I mean, we were paying players £300,000 a week fucking 15 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Literally. Do you remember when Wayne Rooney was threatening to leave Manchester United and, there was all that? That was probably the final nail in the coffin, actually, for player power at the time. Because Sir Alex Ferguson kind of had to bend to keep hold of Wayne Rooney and give him £300,000 a week. Do you remember? Wayne Rooney got £300,000 a week in, 2010 or something. So we were paying players that back then. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy, isn't it? I'm not saying that's right, but we were to keep hold of our special players, And if Newcastle wanted to keep hold of Isaac, they probably would have to pay him handsomely like that, to be fair, because he is one of the hottest properties in terms of goal scorers in European football right now. So it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I mean, obviously he's just chasing the magic dragon of money, it seems, yeah. Yes, he does, Tommy Boyle. Absolutely, he is interested in coming. He's keen on United, by all accounts anyway. It does look like Lamens would be open to joining us. And it seems United would have that very strong interest for us to go in for him as well. So we've been tracking him for almost a season, apparently, and we're keen on the transfer. So hopefully we can get it done. It's only 17 million and he's cheap, and it could be a good one for the long-term future as well. Mama de Shavili, oh, yes, mate. I agree. Would have suited United so much. I agree. 100%. United prefers Martinez according to Romano and Ornstein. Interesting. Well, I don't know if that's exactly what Romano said. I mean, ultimately, he hasn't said that, has he? He's basically said, this morning Fabrizio said that Villa have rejected an approach from Man United for Martinez on a loan deal. Man United still deciding internally whether to go for experienced goalkeeper or young goalkeeper options. So I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, maybe they have made their mind up. Maybe you're right, because ultimately they've actually made contact with Aston Villa and tried to sign him on loan. So surely that's their first option. So you're probably right, actually, United history there. But it does say on this report that we're still deciding internally whether to go for the more experienced Martinez or the less experienced but high potential Lamens. So yeah, either one really, but maybe Lamens would be a great one for long term if he's good enough. But let's just hope he's not another absolute flop. But I believe he couldn't be any worse than Andre Onana anyway, so I would take a punt on him, most definitely. And we're nearly at 100 likes on the stream. Do hit the thumbs up button if you're just joining the stream. It helps the stream out, helps us compete with clickbait wankers and corporations like Sky Sports and other mugs. So do us a favour if you're new and smash that like on it. And also get yourself subscribed to the channel, guys. We're on here daily with the United news around about lunchtime and in the evening also. Get yourself subscribed. Click the bell icon. You know it makes sense. Going to cracking window for some. It's going to be a cracking window for some, while others are going to be glazed over with Newcastle starting to panic, asking prices for forwards. Well, let's just get on to that now, Tartan Scout. So, obviously, Man United are trying to sign a striker as well. Watkins, Sesko has been mentioned. Well, it looks like Newcastle are making a serious play for Sesko. It doesn't really look like Man United are in the mix for him at the moment, properly to the point where we're having actual club-to-club discussions, or even club-to-player discussions. Newcastle, however, are doing that. So Ben Jacobs reporting today that Newcastle are working today to try and agree personal terms with Benjamin Sesko. Leipzig are prepared to sell, but not an easy deal for Newcastle to structure. However, a bid is anticipated. Sesko a long-standing target. So it does look like, you know, obviously they are making a play for him to replace the outgoing Isak. He could be had for somewhere in the region of £60 million, maybe £70 million. It depends really what you believe. A couple of days ago, Christian Falk coming out from Germany and saying that Leipzig would consider selling him for closer to £60 million. But then at the previously, at the start of the summer, all we heard reports-wise was that Arsenal were in discussions club to club with Leipzig, and Leipzig wanted 80 to 100 million euros for the guy, which it works out, 17, 18, 90 million pounds, whatever. It's a bit too much. Newcastle not going to be paying that for him, will they? Even if they do get 120 million for Isak. So I think, if he's available for the right price, i.e. 60 million, Newcastle probably go in for him and try and sign him. And maybe we will be ruining the day that we let this happen if we don't go in for him. I still think Watkins, Visser, someone with Premier League proven experience, is actually better for us right now. That's what I believe. But I could be wrong. Ultimately, this guy, Sesko, he does look good for someone who's young, and he has a lot of potential as well. The problem really with United is right now we just don't really want to take any chances on signings. We don't want players who may or may not be good. We want players who are definitely going to be good, who are definitely proven to do it in the Premier League, and maybe even systematically for what Amorim's trying to do as well. It makes sense to sign players that can actually play the sort of system that Amorim's trying to play. So, not saying that Sesko can't. I'm just saying, obviously, we've got to tick a lot of boxes to guarantee that we're going to have a good season, rather than taking chances. This is more of a gamble than signing someone like Watkins. So Newcastle maybe highlighted him. I mean, obviously, he's a very good talent, Sesko. He's very young. He's only 22. Part of me thinks we should go in for him. Part of me thinks we should absolutely go in for this guy to try and get him if the deal is there for 60 million structured over a few seasons. Obviously, if not, then we're unrealistic to be able to sign him because we are skint. Yeah. Russell Bland says, rip Ozzy and Hulk. Oh, man, I know. Let's get some love hearts and RIPs in there. It's absolutely gash, isn't it, lad? Rip Hulk Hogan, man. What you gonna do, brother? What an absolute legend, man. What an absolute legend. Yeah, you're done with the potential players. You want experience. Hey, I appreciate that, lad. You hear Goldbridge saying a few days ago we may not get any more players. Hope that is a lie. Well, and if that's what he said, then you can sort of guarantee that the opposite will happen. Let's go. Now, of course, we're going to sign some more players, mate. That's just some sort of, I don't know, like in rage bait guff. That's rage bait, classic rage bait guff, mate. That's what that is. Of course we're going to get a couple more players. It just might not be the players we want necessarily, or too much of an investment-wise. It might be a couple of scrimpers. We're talking about the Dominic Calvert-Lewins. Lamans is a cheap goalkeeper addition, to be fair. It's not like he's proven cost a £50 million signing, is it? No. So it depends what we do, really. But of course we're going to sign new players. We have to sign new players. Without a striker, a midfielder, and a goalkeeper, we are going into the season looking light. You know what I mean? We're looking very, very light. If we go into that season with no new goalkeeper, no proper proven finisher up the top of the pitch, and also another midfielder we certainly need as well, somebody who provides us a little bit of something a bit different. Maybe that athleticism, destructive ball-winning sort of vibes that the likes of Casemiro and Ugarte just don't seem to really possess. I mean, I was hoping Ugarte was going to be that player for us, but, again, just not really feeling his performances up to this point. Hopefully this is going to be his coming out season. Yeah. Rocky 3, Pythons, Thunderlips lad, the ultimate human or whatever it was. And Rocky's the ultimate meatball. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you, Man United fan for life. Not too bad, lad. Not too bad. Yeah, Calvert Phillips. No, you're all right. Went rabbit holing a few weeks ago about Lammers. Read a few articles, reports. He's very highly thought of coaches. Yeah, his stats are very impressive. So, yeah, just on Sesko. Yes or no? Yes or no? Live chat. Do you think we should be going for this guy, Benjamin Sesko? It seems Newcastle are going to be moving on him. If they do sell Isaac, which looks like it will be at the moment. Get your thoughts in. Yes or no? If you're Man United, would you go in for Benjamin Sesko right now? Bearing in mind, we could be looking at other options like Watkins, who maybe have that Premier League proven experience and might cost a little bit less, but certainly won't have a long career. Watkins won't have a long career at United. No, Supreme Italian. Nah. Yes. How you doing there, M-Door? What's good, lad? Knowing our rotten luck would end up with Calvert-Lewin and Jackson, whom I don't want. We ruled out that move yesterday. Isaac too. Yeah, we don't need to go for Sesko. We knew Lamans wants to join us, and the deal is easy to do. Cheap fee, and he's open to joining us. He will have chances this season to grab that number 1. Well said, Prod. He definitely will. And obviously, Andre Onana's injured at the moment. Probably be back close to the start of the season, but he's injured as of right now. So there will be some chances for him. No, United need experience. Nah, he's not Prem proven. Sesko only wants a big club. The tune ain't it. Looks like we will panic buy Pig. Yes, but Visser asking price will also go up with us, Newcastle sniffing. You guys need to get on with it. Yeah, that's a fair point. Well, that's another point, actually. I wonder if Newcastle do end up signing Sesko, whether they are no longer interested in Visser, and that leaves him free. That's another good question, isn't it? Calvert-Lewin's last option for Man United to take? Oh, hell no. Watkins or Visser, surely those guys up the list. Mateta, there's lots of players we should be going for before Calvert-Lewin, but if we're skint and we don't have any money, then that is probably who we're going to get, in all fairness, yeah. Okay, so, hey, M-Door, don't be a knob, mate. Come on, what are you doing? Not everyone's going to have the same opinions of you. You shouldn't speak of the dead there, M-Door, lad. Time him out, Tommy Ball, lad. Hulk Hogan's a fucking legend, mate. Nobody's perfect. Are you perfect? Are you perfect there, M-Door? No, you're not. You're an entitled prat, lad. Yeah? Don't speak ill of the dead, mate, okay? Anyway, right. So, if we had a decent squad, then maybe we could have took off a pump, but we can't risk it, surely. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. We don't have it, lad. If the thing about Visser is we've never been linked to him, like ever, the whole summer. I know. The only places we've really been linked to him are, on this channel, I guess, because I've been shouting it from the rooftops. Let's sign Visser for ages. Perfect link up with Mbuemo. 19 goals last season. Pretty cheap because he's got a year left on his contract. Visser's the man, mate. Visser's the one. I like the Visser link. I would go for Visser. Obviously, Thomas Frank and Spurs are understood to be interested in him as well as, the likes of Newcastle have that understand that they're interested in him as well, So, it's one of those. You're all right there. You're all right there, Tommy Boyle. No worries, Dad. Just M-Door, just crossing the line there. Not cool. Right, Newcastle work to agree on the terms, anyway, of Sesko. Let's move on from that story, though, but it's interesting to see what we're going to do. Are we going to go and try and get Sesko? Are we going to go and try and get Watkins for Prem Proven? Or are we going to scrimp out and cheap out like we've done quite often and go and get Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Remains to be seen. So that's the news there. Let's talk about Anthony Gastos. Why can't I say that today? Anthony Dos Gastos. That's what I meant to say. Two Saudi Arabian Premier League clubs apparently are understood to be interested in signing Anthony. I hope that's true. This is from Sky Sports. Ultimately, it's probably not, but let's hope that it is. And maybe we could generate some good cash by selling him over there. Real Betis. This is probably, again, just PR guff, really, from the likes of Manchester United to maybe put a little bit of pressure on the likes of Real Betis, who are taking a long time to try and get a deal done here. You know what I mean? So I think Real Betis are in the position where they can't really afford to spend big money on Anthony. They don't really want to pay 30 million for him and his wages as well. Reports suggest that maybe Anthony would be prepared to take a pay cut, but still that doesn't help them for the initial fee. What is thought to be happening is that Betis are quite happy to take their time to scrimp down this deal, because at the end of the day, at the end of the window, United will be in a desperate position to try and get rid of some of these players that are just going to be lingerers. You know, you don't want these players hanging around the club and not wanting to be there and having a negative impact in the dressing room and all that sort of stuff. Not saying Antony would do that, but you just don't want players who shouldn't be here, who the manager doesn't want, and who don't want to be here and want to play somewhere else. That should not be the case. So, of course, they are expected to be waiting to try and pressure Manchester United into doing a quick deal to try and sell him for maybe a bit less, or a loan deal with an option to buy. So if that's the case, then obviously we should try and sell him elsewhere, because if they're just trying to scrimp us down to the end of the window and make us wait a long time, it's not a deal for us. We want to get a deal done. Surely if Betis want him, they should buy him right now. They've had him at their football club. He's done really well for them. Why the hell wouldn't they want to go and make that deal permanent? So I think it could be sort of PR drip-fed guff from Manchester United trying to just pressure the likes of Real Betis a little bit here. But I would like it if there was clubs interested in him other than Real Betis, because it could push his price up a little bit. Plus it means maybe we could sell him a bit quicker, and maybe it would also force Real Betis's hand to make an offer, because right now they are taking the piss a little bit here. It's deep into the window. They've been linked with him for a long time. They signed one or two other players. So why haven't they got this Anthony Dos Santos deal done? It's because they're trying to just get this deal for really cheap. And we don't mind getting rid of him on the cheap, but it has to be realistic. I would not take a penny less than 30 million euros for him, which is a cheap deal for Antony. That's dirt cheap. How much would you take for him, guys, in terms of euros here? But 30 million euros, that's like 25 million quid. That's dirt cheap. We signed him for 85 million, for Pete's sake, a few years back. Okay, I know he's shat the bed since then and his stock's not gone up. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a middle 20s Brazilian international. You know, and that comes with a certain price tag, and he's still got the best years ahead of him. And in the right system with the right team, and at Betis, he's already proven that he can be quite effective. So, you know, he's got to be worth at least 30 million euros, guys, 25 million pounds. Has to be. If we can't get that for him, then, you know, I don't even want to sell him. I think that's ridiculous if we can't even get that for him after paying what we paid for him. And the fact he is in the Brazilian, you know, setup. He's not just some random mug. He is in the Brazilian setup. He is capped for his country. And, you know, he's got a certain level of experience. 15, 500 million, 50 million, 40 million. Oh, I like that, Matty Smith. Anthony swap for Ivan Toney. I like that a lot. He ain't worth more than 30. Yeah, he was class for Betis. He scored some sick goals. If you actually, I don't know if any of you watched this time at Betis, but if you just go and watch a little video online, Real Betis, Anthony, all of his goals at Real Betis. You know, he's scoring some absolute clanger bangers, guys, over there in that short stint he was there. So he's very fondly thought of over there, at least. So they're expected to be interested in him, but they're trying to get the deal as cheap as they possibly can. We're skint, nobody wants to bomb squad players, that's true. Anthony's a 40 to 50 million pound player. I wouldn't necessarily say that much, but I mean, we certainly valued him that highly at one point. We were prepared to pay, you know, 85 million for him. So you're not wrong. Yeah, more than Salah and Van Dijk. Now, it was a crazy amount that we spent on him. Blame Erik ten Hag. He stitched us up with all those signings. Imagine spending 50 million on Andre Onana. Imagine spending 60 million on Mason Mount. 73 million on Rasmus Højlund. And 85 million on Anthony Dos Santos. Those have to be four of the worst signings in the history of football. Especially for the amount that we paid for them and how gash all of those players have been. Ten Hag, you are a disgrace, sir. 20 to 25 million max. 10 million, fair enough. You want Casemiro gone? I like Casemiro, but his wages are a bit of a problem. He's going to have to earn those wages this season, isn't he? He was good for us last season, though. Let's not just discount his experience. You do need some wily heads in the team. And he's still got some stuff to offer Manchester United. He seems to have the right mentality anyway. He's not just some old boy who's here for the contract and here for the money. He actually does want to play. You know, he does seem to want to play regularly. You take a bottle of poppers and a Twix for Anthony. Oh, dear. People are hating on this guy for no reason. I like your style. Yeah, fair enough. Ten Hag Masterclass. United paid 85 million on Anthony. Can't stand what Betis are doing. Anthony single-handedly dragged them up in La Liga table. Precisely. They should be prepared to pay 30 million euros for him. I mean, what are they really saying to Anthony? We only want you if you're chump change and you're prepared to take a pay cut. I mean, it's not the best, is it? He did good stuff for them. Ten Hag set back the club years. The funny thing is with Anthony, he's the best one out of the four melt still here and worked well with Mazza in the past. Could he come good for us, or has his head and heart left the club now? He's still the best one out of those Melts, you're right. You know, I remember when he first came in, he actually had a bit of a good goal-scoring vein for us when he first came in. He was scoring a couple of those classic Anthony Dos Gastos type goals, cutting in from the right and getting it on his left and whipping it top bins. You know, but the thing is, I don't know if he could come good for us because he's too one-dimensional, and it didn't take long for opposition teams to work him out. It's kind of very simple, really. All you have to do is show him on to a wide position. You know, show him wide. And show him onto his weak foot. What that means is you teach the defenders, obviously, before the game that this guy's going to be cutting inside and shooting. Don't let him cut inside. Force him wide. And it becomes very easy to deal with him because he doesn't really have the overall well-roundedness of his game to be whipping crosses in Beckham style with his right boot or whatever, creating chances that way. So he kind of just goes into the corner and then sort of has to come back, and it's really not ideal. Anthony is easy to work out because you just don't let him go inside. You stay tight to him, you don't let him go inside. Okay, you might be able to beat the defender and still get inside sometimes. But if the defender's got it in their mind to show them wide, then Anthony's just worked out. He can't do anything. He's not got the different facets to his game to really create when you need him to, like a proper conventional winger. He's just a classic sort of inside forward is what he is. You know, he would work really well in a team like, say, a Liverpool type team who would play like a 4-3-3, and they're going to play with a player, you know, like Salah. Now, I'm not saying Anthony's like Salah. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is he would work maybe in that sort of a team. He certainly would not work in Manchester United's team under Amorim right now. But also, like I say, he is too one-dimensional. At least Salah, if Salah gets out in that position and somebody's showing him wide, you know, he's got the ability to create something from that wide space, or, you know, he's obviously much better. Exactly. Robben was the same, but Robben was actually amazing. Yes, you're absolutely right. But Robben was the same to a degree. Very one-dimensional, one-footed. But Robben, again, just 10 times the player, really. Can't drop our man for Anthony. But then, to be fair, you know, Robben never really sort of hit the heights until he got to Bayern, did he? I mean, I know he was good for the Netherlands and stuff, but when he was in the Premier League at Chelsea, it's not like he was setting the world alight, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, he took a bit of time to develop. Maybe Anthony's going to be the next Robben. Just like Robben, but way less skill. Yeah, definitely. So he's that kind of player. Like, he's too easy to work out. But I like his mentality. He's not got a shithouse mentality, I don't think, that the likes of Garnacho and Sancho do. He seems a bit of a dude, actually, you know? He seems like somebody who just wants to play and wants to work hard. But he knows that his place at United is over, really. He's not really wanted here by the new manager. The reason for that is because he doesn't fit Amorim's system, does he? He's not a number 10, and he's not a wing-back. He would work in a 4-3-3 playing as a conventional sort of right winger, cutting inside and shooting. That's what he would do. But he doesn't work in our system. Anthony has behaved better than Sancho and Garnacho. Definitely he has. The fact Anthony employed his own photographer did it for me, but it's tragic we can't get him to standard we expect. Yeah, it's such a shame. Big investment, big high hopes. Pick one, Mount or Anthony. Definitely I would keep Anthony. Mason Mount's probably, I mean, hate's a very strong word, but he's my most disliked player at Manchester United. And it's not even necessarily his fault. You know, it's just that I can't believe we signed him. I never liked him when he was at Chelsea. I always thought he was massively overrated, even when he's winning player of the seasons and stuff. He just never did it for me as a player, never saw it myself. And the number 7 is what's done it for me as well. Not just the price tag. If we'd have paid 30 million for him and he got the number 67 shirt, I would not have an issue with him being around the squad. I really wouldn't. So it's not necessarily his fault, but the reason I dislike him so much is because he's making a mockery of that number 7 shirt. He's making a mockery of being paid £200,000 a week, and he's making a mockery of that £60 million price tag. He is a bang average melter. I have no idea why Ten Hag was possessed to go for him. Ridiculous. So that's why I hate it. Yeah, that's why I hate it. It is a shame Robben never got to play with Botman. Botman and Robben. Robben was amazing at Chelsea, mate. Nah, he wasn't as good as when he was at Bayern, mate. What are you talking about? He definitely wasn't as good. He was the best when he was at Bayern, and they had Ribery and Robben. That's his glory years. Come on, he was he was okay. It's like saying Salah was good at Chelsea. I mean, Salah obviously still a good player, but his glory years when he's really reached the heights of development and is truly world class was when he was at Liverpool. You know, same goes for Robben at Bayern. That's just when that's it. And Buemo likes to curl in and shoot on his left, but he's more precise and doesn't just twat it. Yeah, precisely. You like Mount less than Sancho. I don't know. I mean, I don't even consider Jadon Gastro a United player. He's right up there with my most disliked as well. But Mason Mount, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, Sancho's more of a twat. You're right. At least Mason just gets his head down and smiles and carries on, but doesn't do anything, though. Chelsea owns both United and Arsenal. They keep managing to give us their reserves. It's filth, isn't it? Why would we sign Mason Mount for 60 mil? You would have kept De Gea, McTominay, Elanga, the Spider, and even Fred. I would have definitely kept all of those players, Disco Dave. The Spider, why did we get rid of the Spider, mate? Great defensive option. Not the best going forward, but not bad. And also great defensively, lad. When you need someone just to pocket a world-class winger, get the Spider on him, lad. Goodness me, I couldn't agree more. McTominay, we finally sold him after his best season for us. It's a bit strange. I mean, I guess it was a long time coming, but he finally had a great season for club and country, and then we sold him, and now he's obviously done great, and he's a great character, you know. And De Gea, just one of the best goalkeepers around still, should have never let him go. And Elanga, you're absolutely right. Disco Dave, I mean, Ten Hag's just done a poo on us, really. What about Alvaro as well, Alvaro Fernandez? He's just gone to Real Madrid for £50 million. He's going to have a great career, isn't he? You know, and let this twat Eric Ten Hag wanting to play Melts like Tyrell Malacia and stuff. Goodness me. This guy's got to have the worst judgment. You know, he's going to get sacked off at Leverkusen soon, I reckon. He got done up against an under-21s team the other day, 5-1 or whatever it was. He's in for a rude awakening. He's not what he thinks he is, that guy. He's shite. His player judgment's shite. There you go. Do you think Barca will register Marcus? Surely they will. Yeah, let's not even mention anger. It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts. Okay, right, let's continue. There's one or two other little things I wanted to discuss. Oh, yeah, just very quickly, this could have a knock-on effect, really, for Isaac. That's the reason I'm even discussing this, because it's obviously nothing to do with us, really. But Florian Plettenberg says that Bayern have submitted their new offer to Liverpool for Luis Diaz, worth $67.5 million. Talks between the clubs are ongoing. As reported, Diaz wants to join Bayern and is waiting for an agreement between the clubs. He can sign a contract running at least until 2029. The deal could still fall through. So it's not obviously done or anything, but they've submitted an offer. It seems like they are working on getting Luis Diaz, which means that, you know, Liverpool maybe will still have the cash to go and sign someone like Isaac now, after buying Ekitike for close to 100 million and Wirtz for over 100 million. You know, these signings that they've made are crazy money, but they may well have more to do still in this window. They may see this opportunity to go and get Isaac. The whole reason, I guess, for Isaac's unhappiness at Newcastle and this coming to a head where he wants more money and wants to leave for a top club is because of Liverpool sniffing around him and Liverpool's interest in him. And so they're believed to still have that interest in Isaac, where they are expected to want to go and bid for him. And when you consider that they're going to get a large, you know, at least more than half of what they're going to spend on Isaac back here with a Luis Diaz sale, just maybe it increases the likelihood that it does happen. Liverpool are going to be some team to reckon with if they do manage to get Isaac as well, aren't they? Because they have made some big signings and good replacements for the likes of Trent going out with Frimpong, and you know they've done well in this transfer window. They're looking pretty meaty. So I was just talking about that because it's going to have a knock-on effect for United. Obviously, Luis Diaz, if he ends up going to Bayern for 67.5, that does mean that Liverpool could be signing Isaac for 120 million or somewhere in that region, which also means that then Newcastle are going to have to sign a new striker, be it Visser, be it Sesko. We've seen the links earlier on in regards to Newcastle trying to work out a deal there with Benjamin Sesko, trying to work on a personal terms with Sesko. There's reports going around that they do have that strong interest in him because of what's happened there now with Isaac. So the situation is Man United still, I guess, have some sort of interest in Sesko, but the reality is he's further along with teams like Newcastle right now. It seems Newcastle have already put the feelers out and discussing potential terms with the player at the football club. That's what's going on at the moment. So it does look like Newcastle are leading the chase for Sesko at the moment now due to this whole Isaac situation with Newcastle and Liverpool. Beyond that, United need to sign a striker, so we've got to go for someone like, Watkins or Visser, but we'll see what we're going to do. Let me just see. Oh, yeah, the only other report, I can't remember if I discussed this yesterday, but just Fabrizio said that in recent hours, this was actually last night, Man United had direct contact with Villa. There was a club-to-club conversation. Man United asked about the situation of Ollie Watkins. The answer from Aston Villa is that they want to keep the player. So reports are they want to keep Watkins, but again, I'm sure everyone's got their price, and like we've discussed, there is an element of maybe a potential for one of our players going in the opposite direction, Garnacho or Højlund or whoever, but probably Garnacho if they've got an interest in him. So you never know. But I just wanted to mention that anyway, that at the moment, Man United are understood to be interested in Watkins, but Villa have said, essentially, their stance is that they don't want to sell him. But as we said, if he wants to go, if maybe he's fallen out of favour there with Emery, or he's not happy with his treatment towards the end of last season, which there were some reports to say that he wasn't, and obviously Rashford getting selected ahead of him sometimes, and other situation, at the club last season, he didn't play all that much. Maybe he wants to go. If he wants to go, he can maybe force a move away. I've seen reports today, which are speculative reports, that just suggest that Watkins maybe is trying to push a move away from Aston Villa. Yeah, but the price has to be right, doesn't it, Chico? So 40 million is a good price. It's not too much. 45 million, it's not too bad. He's 29, though, and in 4 years' time, he'll be leaving for nothing. So they can't demand too much money for this guy, I don't think. 40 million, 45 million makes sense. Do you think we'll win against West Ham? I mean, I hope so, mate. I do think so, yeah. Watkins has got to say he wants to leave before Villa will sanction the deal. Yeah, well, there's some reports going around today about that, but not from any of the reputable, sources or whatever, so we have to wait and see. Yeah, not for sale, bollocks. They just want a high fee. Precisely, exactly. Everyone's got their price. The price should be 50 million max. I'm with you there, lad. 50 million for Watkins is the absolute upper limit of what we should be paying. Completely agree. And ideally, we get him even for a little bit less than that, especially if Aston Villa's desperate to make cash. It might be one of those that we're going to drag on all summer long to try and sign a number 9, unfortunately. Anything more than that's too much. I agree, because he's going to be leaving us in a few years for nothing. 45 max for you. But he is a really good, solid pick right now anyway. Yeah, it might not be flashy. End of the day, this guy, 6 years ago was playing in the Championship or whatever, wasn't he? In fact, I saw some post earlier, which was pretty cool. It was Mbeumo and Watkins' goal tally for the season of like 1920 or something, working together, and it was like 48 or something. So, I mean, I know that's Championship, but still, these guys obviously have developed a lot since then, and they know each other. So it makes sense, doesn't it? Watkins will be 60 million. Well, we couldn't pay that much money for him. That's just dead money. If you're going to spend that much, you might as well go for someone like, Sesko, who's going to keep that investment in him for a long time. As in, he's going to not just depreciate in value over 3 seasons and be worth nothing. Sesko in 3 seasons will probably be worth more. So if they were going to ask for that much money, it doesn't even really make sense. We'd have to go for someone else. Everyone's got their limit in terms of value, and Watkins is no more than 45 million, really. But if that's what they want for him, they don't have to sell him, obviously, if they don't want to sell him for less than that. But I just don't think we'll buy him for that. Yeah, he'll be able to lead the line and give us better shape. You will take Mateta from Palace over Ollie. Mateta is cheaper. Is Mateta cheaper, though? I've heard price tags of 60 mil for Mateta, lad. 50 plus 5 for top 4, maybe 45 to 50 for Watkins. You say get a striker and a midfielder and a goalkeeper and get 3 out and give the window a 7. Hey, fair play to you. Yes, I'd be similar. Watkins and 20 mil for Garnacho. Perfect deal. Love it. Absolutely love it. If we don't get him and Sesko goes to Newcastle, who's next? Because we will well and truly be down to scraps. Well, hopefully if Sesko went to Newcastle, then maybe Visser or Watkins would be the ones we would go for. I don't know. I mean, Visser is also wanted by Thomas Frank at Spurs, it's known. Spurs are also maybe on the verge of losing Son Heung-min at the moment, guys. Now, we're not going to go for Son, nor really should we. Actually, we should, because he's still epic, even though he's old. At the end of the day, Son's best days are behind him now. He will be declining over the next few seasons, definitely. But he's still a very good player, but he's wanted by LAFC over in the MLS. Apparently, he's going to be discussing things with Thomas Frank very, very soon. Hang on a second, guys. I just got to answer this phone call real quick.